All right, let's talk about Palantir. This is not financial advice. This video is for research and education only. And today we are going to look at what is happening around PLTR first, then move into what we are seeing inside PreTradeIt. Palantir is still one of the most talked about stocks in the market because it sits right in the middle of AI, defense, and government spending. And the recent news around the company helps explain why. One of the biggest recent developments is that the Pentagon moved to adopt Palantir's Maven AI system as a core military command and control platform. That is a big deal because it strengthens the idea that Palantir is becoming more deeply embedded in real defense infrastructure, not just riding AI hype. But there is another side to that story. Palantir has also had to deal with fallout from the Pentagon's break with Anthropic. Reuters reported in March that Palantir faced the challenge of removing Anthropic-related AI code from parts of its Maven software. And Reuters reported again on April 9th that the Pentagon's fallout with Anthropic is opening the door for more AI rivals in defense. So the opportunity is still there, but the environment is clearly getting more competitive and more complicated. Then there is the business side. Reuters reported in February that Palantir delivered a very strong quarter, with U.S. government revenue up 66% year over year, quarterly revenue at $141 billion, and 2026 revenue guidance around $7.18 billion to $7.20 billion. But Reuters also noted that valuation remained a concern even with those strong numbers. And that is really the core PLTR debate right now. Great business momentum, but still a stock where expectations may already be doing a lot of the heavy lifting. So with that in mind, let's move into PreTradeIt and look at the actual setup. The first thing on screen is the trade check summary. And this is the part that matters most right away. PLTR is showing weight active with a short bias. Confidence is 0.44. Setup quality is marked very poor. And cross-horizon risk is marked high. So right at the top, the message is simple. This is not a clean bullish setup right now. You can also see the stock is sitting at 130.10 after closing previously at 140.76, which in this snapshot is a 7.7% drop. That already tells you this is a volatile name and not one you want to approach casually. Then as you move down a bit, the next section gives you the bigger quick read. Trend is showing below EMA 20. Setup is still weak. Risk is flagged as high vol and deep drawdown, and fundamentals are labeled expensive but high quality. That is basically the Palantir story in one line. Strong company, but weak setup and still expensive. Then you get into the core numbers that really matter. Revenue growth is 70% year over year. Earnings growth is 648% year over year. But forward PE is about 114.9 and trailing PE is about 223.4. So this is exactly why PLTR keeps splitting opinion. The business growth is strong, but the valuation is still demanding. That is exactly where PreTradeIt fits in. The point is not just to tell you Palantir is a strong AI company. Everybody already knows the story. The point is to help you see whether the stock setup, the risk, and the valuation actually support the trade right now. Then if you keep moving lower, the trend snapshot is the next really important section. PLTR is about 11.1% below the 20-day EMA, 13.4% below the 50-day EMA, and 13.8% below the 200-day EMA. RSI is 35.6. That is not a stock in technical control. It is a stock still trading below short-term, medium-term, and long-term trend levels all at once. And finally, if you look at the momentum picture, it explains why this stock feels so mixed. Over the last 6 months, PLTR is down 25.6%. But over the last 12 months, it is still up 47.4%. So longer term, the stock still has a strong run behind it. But medium term, it has already taken meaningful damage. So the bottom line on Palantir is this. The company story is still strong. The government and defense AI angle is still real. The growth numbers are still strong. But the current setup is not clean. Right now, what we are seeing is a stock below all the major moving averages, with a weight active, short bias state, low confidence, very poor setup quality, and high risk. That does not mean Palantir cannot recover. It just means this is not the kind of setup where the story alone is enough. Because a strong company does not always mean a strong trade.
If you enjoyed this breakdown, drop a like, subscribe, and let me know which stock you want me to cover next. And if you want to explore the data behind this analysis for yourself, check out PreTradeIt using the link in the description. You can sign up and use it for free.